What up, folks, and welcome to the Kyber Culture, episode 104, with myself, Joe, of House Deepak, first of his name, and joining me to discuss House of the Dragon and the latest news in fandom is the bro Garrett Solomon. So stick around for our chat. Make sure to follow us on YouTube and TikTok, as well as our other socials like Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Check the links in the description. It's all there. And if you like what you're listening to, please consider leaving a rating and a review wherever you get your podcasts. Spotify and Apple, also great. But before we get into the show, Garrett, it's been a while since you've been here. How you doing, man?
I'm good, Joe, man. Thanks for having me back, man.
Of course.
Yeah,
of course.
I'm good. I'm good, though. Living that Claremont life, that dream.
The Claremont dream. Gotta love it, you know? Like, nice and quiet. Nice and quiet little town.
Quiet is good. I love it. It's a little dark sometimes, but it's good.
Oh, no, especially where you live. Like, those streets right there around the Claremont colleges, it's not very well lit.
Yeah. So I have like 5% tint on my windows, and some nights I have to roll down my windows just to see where I'm turning. That's how bad it is. Yeah, so I see why it is illegal, but you know, I need that privacy in my car too. So
I wonder why that is. Why Claremont does that? I don't know.
So putting on my my Scripps College facilities planning hat.
Oh, you have an answer.
Yes, I do have an answer for it. It is actually because Claremont is a night sky compliant city, meaning they don't allow a lot of light pollution in the area. So that's why you don't see like a lot of street lights and stuff like that. So if you think about it, if you have like a lot of lights that point up, it actually takes away from the sky, from you seeing stars and of that nature. So the lights that are night sky compliant, they kind of point down and they're like set to like a certain amount of lumens. So you'll still get like a nice glow and, enough for like foot traffic. But other than that, that's why a majority of like Claremont is dark and with like the lantern kind of lights also. So that makes a lot of sense. That sounds very Claremont too. Yeah,
if we're being honest.
Exactly. So that's why when you drive around, you see like a lot of lanterns on houses and then like the street lights. I mean, there's a couple like regular like street lights, but a lot of them are like these Claremont poles. Kind of reminds you of the gas lamp sometimes. So
got you.
That's the main reason. Yep.
Wow. The more you know.
Yeah. So there you go. There you go. I'm gonna send my invoice. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
But honestly, I see you like going up to Baldy every now and then. You need to take a night drive up there if you really want to see some like crazy ass stars. That shit is nuts.
So when we went to Kona, we went to the Big Island in Hawaii back in August. Wow, time is flying. We went to Hawaii and we were able to see everything. We saw the Milky Way. Yeah. We saw a couple of planets. It was because it was, like I said, that's the problem. That's the main reason why you can't see stars in certain cities, because the light pollution is so bad. In Hawaii, we were like out in the middle of nowhere. You just look up. We saw like the perfect like Milky Way, like something out of a textbook. Yeah. And then you can also see like some of the planets and stuff like that too, without any kind of telescope. So it was pretty impressive.
There was one time like I drove up to Baldy and like you could see literally like the galaxy, like so many stars, but I bet it doesn't compare to what you saw in Hawaii.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to see some pictures. It's like, whoa. I'm like, yeah, sometimes we take pictures from your phone, it doesn't really do it justice, but I actually took pictures from my phone and it was like, wow, it's actually the Milky Way on your phone,
Yeah, well, that's dope, dude. Glad to hear you're doing well. But okay, let's talk some nerd culture stuff here. So,
oh yeah, absolutely.
A couple of big things. Honestly, Marvel and DC were really at each other this week because there's like just tons of news. Like, got the Ant-Man trailer the same day. Henry Cavill says he's back as Superman. But let's talk about these things one at a time. So, Ant-Man trailer. First trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. This is hilarious just because like we're getting an Ant-Man trilogy before we're getting a Man of Steel sequel.
Right.
Which is, yeah, it's nuts. But we also got William, he wasn't in the trailer, but William Jackson Harper cast in the film. Folks might know him from The Good Place or Midsommar. I know him from Midsommar. He's in the cast. A lot of people are fan casting him as Reed Richards. How did you feel about this trailer? I think this is the beginning of Phase 5.
Yes, it is, because I think Black Panther is going to be the final movie, right? Or is that the beginning?
Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever is the end of Phase 4.
4. Okay. I actually enjoyed the trailer, especially for it to be an Ant-Man film. I feel like they're finally putting like a little bit more bark behind, the Ant-Man movie. Because you think about the first one and the second one, you're like, oh yeah, it's cool. But I feel like now they're actually introducing a Thanos level villain. Mm-hmm. So it's like, whoa, okay. It feels, and then on top of that, we've been getting so much mid stuff from Marvel. I feel like now finally seeing, actually Kang, in his true form. But you don't know which variant it is either. But I'm looking forward to the movie. And actually, yeah. And especially for it to be an Ant-Man movie. When you watch Ant-Man movie, you're like, oh yeah. I don't think I even watched Ant-Man in the theater. I waited for it to come out on Fire Stick or whatever, and I watched it. That's the only one I've never gone to the movie on premiere night and watched opening night and watched it. Yeah, but yeah, it looks like it's going to be a good movie. It has like everybody's coming back. Michael Douglas, man, that's a cool cat, man. He's old, but that's a cool cat, man.
Yeah, Michael Douglas, one of the goats for sure.
Yeah, one of the goats, man. So I'm actually looking forward to that movie.
Yeah, I like what you said about the Ant-Man movies, just because like I've been rewatching them a lot recently, and they are like kind of like whatever movies. Honestly, I think Ant-Man 1 is pretty strong, pretty solid introduction to the character. Even though that the movies are kind of like maybe you fall in the middle of them, I think they're pretty enjoyable, pretty fun. But there is just like one thing about both of them that are so important to the big picture of the MCU. Like they're low key really important. Like the first one, you get the quantum realm. Second one, you get some more of the quantum realm, but you find out that you can like time travel with it or something. Is that the one where you find out? No, I don't think he gets stuck there, and then that's important for Infinity War and Endgame.
Right. You found out how to get out and all that kind of good stuff. Yep.
Yeah, and then Ant-Man 3, this is of course like it's introducing the next big bad. So it's like every single one of them have like some, like they've earned their spot in the grand scheme of things. You know what I mean? As far as the trailer is concerned though, like for me, it had like the weirdness of Loki and like the quantum realm, this little city that's within the quantum realm, and Kang just with like his whole fucking army. I'm just like, holy shit. It's interesting though, because there's a rumor out there that Kang is actually gonna need, like, he wants Scott to steal, like he's saying something about Scott having to steal something for him. Like he wants him to do like a little heist or whatever, and it might be to steal. Like I don't know if you know this about Kang, but he has like a chair, like a time chair they call it. Yeah, he just uses it to travel through time or whatever. Folks are theorizing that he needs Shang-Chi's 10 rings and he needs Miss Marvel's like wrist bangle, because those two items they're both related. But that'll be cool. That'll be an interesting way to connect, like, you know, those Phase 4 projects to this. Yeah, right. I thought the trailer was solid. I can't wait for the movie.
yeah, me too. So recently, you know, going into Phase 4, I started to not get my hopes up for anything.
Sure.
You know,
just no expectations.
No expectations. And so far, yeah, they let me down a little bit. But going into this movie, I'm going in there with no expectations either. I'm just going to go in there to enjoy the movie.
Have fun with it, you know?
Yeah, because, you know, I know now, like, once you start, you know, doing too much research and then when something comes out, you'd be like, oh, it's not what I expected, you know? So it is what it is. So, but with this Ant-Man movie coming out, I'm just going to just go in there and enjoy the movie. That's what I'm going to do. So
fair enough.
But my dog Jonathan Majors on the come up though, man.
Dude, he's about to have quite a year, because fucking Ant-Man 3 comes out, I think, in February, and then Creed 3 comes out, I think, a month later.
He has Devotion coming out.
I think Devotion comes out in November.
In November, yeah, he has that coming out. And then, of course, you know, he started like with Lovecraft Country, and then I guess something after that. But yeah, he's doing his thing.
Real
solid.
Out there.
Yeah,
he's
solid
out there
actor
for sure. But okay, William Jackson Harper, I mentioned him earlier. Any thoughts on him? Do you care to see him as Reed Richards?
I'm definitely open to it. The question is the world ready to see him as Reed Richards? That's the $1 million question. That's really the $1 million question. I mean, quite frankly, anybody can really play a Marvel character, but I mean, besides like, the original GOAT, Robert Downey Jr., there will never be another one of him. But it's more so, will they be okay with having an African American Reed Richards? That's the $1 million question. And you have seen the way, everybody's pretty much acting, with like the Little Mermaid and Star Wars, House of the Dragon. It's just these are all made up characters, and for some strange reason, there's an issue with it. So that's my main concern is, I'm definitely down for it. I think he can definitely play the part of playing Reed Richards due to, his nature of being smart. He's not like the cool guy in the room, like what's the guy's name?
From what movie? The
Human Torch. I'm sorry. I think he can definitely play a good Reed Richards. The question is just, will the rest of the world be okay with him playing it?
That sucks. Just like there will discourse will come for that, and yeah. But
I'm definitely down for it.
I'm down to see it too. And just from what I've seen him in, I've only seen him in Midsommar, but he's a good performer. He's a good actor.
Yeah, that movie scares the heck out of me, man. I don't think I can have the balls to watch it yet. But yeah.
It's not like super jump scary.
It's just real gory, right?
I wouldn't even say gory. It's just like the stuff you look at is like real trippy and just like really disturbing.
Gotcha.
That's all I'd say about it. But
yeah,
so we'll see about Ant-Man 3. Let's see what else we got here. Some more Marvel stuff. Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
Next.
No, come on. No, I'm looking forward to this. I can't wait to watch it. You know why? Because their first special presentation, the Werewolf by Night. Did you catch that one?
I watched half of it. I actually fell asleep watching it last night. I was actually watching it.
What, you didn't like it?
No, I liked it. I was just tired, man.
Okay.
And I actually liked the way that it was filmed and like, the audio and like the black and white. And it felt like an old school kind of like horror movie, like a slasher kind of old school. Yeah, it was real cool. But I was exhausted last night, so I fell asleep. So I didn't finish it. Got you.
Yeah, no, I think I'm in on any. I mean, that was the first one, and I feel like in terms of the special presentations, it kind of set a high bar for me. So I don't know how the Guardians of the Galaxy one will go, but it looks like fun, and I'm gonna enjoy it being the holiday spirit, like in the same way how I enjoyed Hawkeye as like a Christmas themed type of deal, And I'm sure James Gunn will like make it very heartfelt, very like holidays type of deal, And they fucking got
Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon, yeah, that shit's too funny. Like Drax and Mantis save Christmas, bro. Like, you don't think that sounds good?
You know what? I'm gonna watch it because I currently have Disney Plus, so I look at it as a free movie to watch.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I'm just gonna watch it, and no expectations, and it'll probably be good, Yeah. It's another Disney exclusive, Disney Plus exclusive. So I mean,
yeah. So
we'll see. I just need I'm just waiting for them to turn it up on us, which I think it probably will be with Black Panther, but we'll see.
And one last Marvel thing: early reactions to Wakanda Forever they're looking pretty good. Everyone's pretty excited about it. Of course, everyone says like bring some tissues, get ready to cry, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of expected that. I'm ready to be sad about the movie. I just hope that it does more stuff than makes me sad.
Right. I'm not trying to be in there like a straight tear fest. I want to see like something, but knowing that something in my mind tells me that they gave us a whole bunch of mids so they can just turn the dial all the way up on us, which I think is pretty much all these other movies beforehand were kind of setting the tone. And then now with this Black Panther coming out, I feel like it's going to, of course, I don't know how they're going to write off Chadwick, but I think it's just going to turn it up for us and then kind of
it seems like
roll us into.
It seems like he passes away, and like he passed away in real life and he passes away in the movie, you know. So we'll see how that goes. But we briefly chatted about it before, but I think you'll be back for the Wakanda Forever pod, and we'll also have Marcus for that one as well. So, well,
okay, absolutely.
Maybe Marcus. We'll see. I haven't even brought the idea up to him, but Marcus, if you're listening, if you want to text me or text Garrett,
I will make sure that he's on for the pod. We're gonna go see it opening night, and we're gonna be locked and loaded, man. We don't miss opening night, so we're good to go. We got tickets, good seating. We actually got our tickets, and then my wife was like, "Hey, you guys got tickets?" I was like, "Yeah, we always get tickets to every Marvel movie." She said, "I want to go," so I had to find her a ticket for the same theater. So she's gonna be sitting like 5 or 6 seats down, and
there you go. Nice. We'll see how it goes, man. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so let's move on from Marvel. Talk a little DC. You saw Black Adam. You saw the post-credits scene. We don't have to talk about Black Adam like in its entirety, but give me a quick rating out of 5.
Oh, 5 being the highest?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Can I do 10 being the highest?
All right, fine. Do 10.
10 being the highest, I would give it. Only reason I give it a 6 out of 10 is because I went there for free. We had I think Eddie had some like a gift card or something that somebody gave him, so we went and saw it at Edwards for free. It was good. It was a good movie. A lot of action, but at the same time, it had like that cheese in it, man. A couple of the, I
feel like okay, let me say this real quick. This is something, because I just had a Black Adam pod. I think I forgot to mention this, but I feel like pretty much everything that everyone critiques Marvel for, this does all those things and just makes it completely like if you thought it was bad in Marvel, it's even worse in Black Adam.
Yes, it is, because but the crazy thing is like they mix the wrong elements. Like the action, like The Rock was straight up like going crazy in that movie, and then you have like these cheese moments. I was like, this is 2 different movies. Like, what are y'all doing here? Like, keep the same tone. You know, The Rock will always be The Rock. Nothing against the man, but I enjoyed the movie. It was a free movie for me. We'll see where James Gunn goes with taking the reins. Hopefully it's something gonna be like Peacemaker. That's my show, man. That's my show.
Before we move on, you and I are on the same page. I also gave. I rate my movies out of 5. I give it a 3 out of 5, but converted to 10, it's a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
But so James Gunn, new co-CEO of DC Studios. He's co-CEO alongside, I think the guy's name is Peter Safran. So they're both going to be the heads of DC Studios. DC Studios, also the new name, changed it from DC Films, or I don't know if it's DC Extended Universe still, but like you said, for me, James Gunn did Peacemaker, really loved Peacemaker. Also did the Suicide Squad. Were you a Suicide Squad fan of his Suicide Squad?
Oh, yeah. I was
a fan of that one as well. And so I think this is probably the best thing that DC could have done for themselves. This is probably their to move forward with their universe. And I think because a lot of people are concerned that because James Gunn definitely has his own style. Like a lot of it's pretty lighthearted. It's very quippy, but has his movies still have like a ton of heart. But I think he understands that he can't force that vision into each DC project, So
right.
I'm not worried about that too much. But everyone thinks oh fuck, it's like James Gunn at DC Studios. He's gonna make all the movies like his movies. I'm like, I don't think that's the case.
So I actually appreciate them adding him on because the remake, the Snyder Cut was good, but at the end of the day,
it was better. But
it was better. But the thing is that he got all of our comments, and then he made it a better movie. So let's not sit up here and say Zack Snyder, bring him back. No, absolutely not. Because it takes him 5 hours to tell a story. That's not how it goes. Nobody's gonna sit in a movie and watch it for 5 hours. But I feel like with James Gunn, he's already been around he already made a couple of good movies and shows already. And I feel like him taking over, of course, he's not going to be the main one anyway, directing all the movies. He's just going to be the main one in charge, right? Just mapping it out. So
like someone to like see like the big picture of all the movies.
Right, exactly, and that's all we want in the DC, because believe it or not, DC has like the potential, especially like the newer movies besides Black Adam, to to really like grab like a lot more viewers. I think.
Yeah, no, they have great characters. They have like well-known household characters like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. Everyone knows them.
Right, exactly.
But I think that's also the tricky part, just because like everyone has like this expectation of their character. So I think it's also challenging.
Yeah, they have a good.
The future's bright for them.
The future's bright. Zack Snyder's gone, and then the best thing they can do is bring Henry Cavill back. So yeah, we'll see where they go from there.
And let's talk about Henry Cavill real quick. He confirmed earlier this week that he's back as Superman, and that the Black Adam cameo is a small taste of what's to come. I'm excited for this. I liked his cameo in Black Adam. The only thing about the cameo that I didn't like was like, why is he working with Amanda Waller? But whatever. I'm sure it will be explained in the future.
Well, they got to tie it into like James Gunn's Suicide Squad. So the thing is, we just got to kind of shift our mind over to James Gunn's Suicide Squad and moving forward. Everything else, I guess, was irrelevant. I don't know if they're going to call it Man of Steel 2 or just a different Man of Steel. I'm not sure.
They should just call it Man of Tomorrow. Fuck it.
I more than likely that's probably going to do, because if they say Man of Steel 2, it wouldn't make sense, because that would be Zack Snyder's universe, right? You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it's going to be a completely different universe. So they probably call it something completely different from Man of Steel 2. I think Henry Cavill was made for that role. I love watching him in it. Man of Steel was a fantastic, Superman movie, especially for Superman not be like I really don't like Superman like that, because it's just, I don't know, he's too perfect,
Yeah, and, how do you give this guy flaws or like relatability,
Right, exactly. I like when it comes down to, a superhero like Iron Man or Batman, when it comes down to like, your intellect and trying to figure things out, rather than you just being invincible. Yeah, so I think it's more, it's more to it. But yeah, I'm definitely interested, and I'm glad, Henry Cavill is coming back as Superman. He never fails in anything. Every movie I think I've seen of Henry Cavill's, he hasn't missed yet.
Yeah, they're all dubs.
Yeah. Even like Immortals, which was like, that was good. So
that was like his first.
Was Immortals a Zack Snyder movie?
It could have been, but no, that was. I wouldn't say that was like his claim to fame, but
no, I didn't say it was a claim to fame. I'm just saying like
that was like the first time like I recognized his face, though.
No, it was not a Zack Snyder movie.
And he wasn't even. Zack Snyder also wasn't like a producer or anything like that. It seemed like it though. It seemed like it seemed very 300.
Yeah, that's what that's why I thought it was a Zack Snyder movie, because it kind of gave me like those 300 kind of vibes. But
okay, yeah.
Looking forward to it though.
Yeah,
absolutely.
This cameo in Black Adam was almost another like headless or faceless Superman. Like, how they did the headless Superman thing in Shazam, and then they did the faceless Superman in Peacemaker. It was almost that. I couldn't imagine what that would have been. Like, just a headless Superman just walking up to Black Adam.
I think we would have been outraged. So
yeah.
But shout out to Henry Cavill for coming back. We appreciate it, man. Yeah. This is what, I think they needed that piece to kind of really keep us interested in the DC universe, man, because they switch out Batman. They switch out Batman's like underwear, so it's crazy, man. So, but at least I think with James Gunn's direction, I think Henry Cavill is in good hands. So I think we're good.
It'll be solid. I just want more. Like with Marvel, it's just like they're the only ones in the superhero space. You know what I mean? I mean, we got the Batman. And sometimes we get some good DC things here and there, but I'm looking forward to more diversification in the space, like more something different. You know what I mean? So we'll see how it goes. But last piece of DC news: Green Lantern series coming to HBO Max. This was always kind of in the works, but the series, I believe, was first focused on the Green Lantern. That's Guy Gardner. but now it is going to be focused on Jon Stewart, which I mean, you should have just done that from the get go. I think he's the most, like, next to Hal Jordan, he's the most, right, maybe even more recognizable than Hal Jordan, if we're being honest.
He is. Jon Stewart is more recognizable.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying. But
so Green Lantern series, you hype? I
am hype. So far, their shows have been pretty good. I'm just doing based off of, like, you know, well, really, the first one's like with Peacemaker, and then they had like another show, but I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be pretty good. I'm curious where they take it, you know. I feel like with DC, they can be a little bit darker too. So I feel like it could be a darker Green Lantern that we normally see, you know, rather than, you know, unfortunately, the Ryan Reynolds version. But, you know, I feel like, you know, superhero screenwriting has, you know, has come so much further now than it did before. But I feel like they can definitely make a good stance with Jon Stewart as far as being Green Lantern, as far as having like a little bit more darkness, and he's more of a more serious character, I think, kind of like Batman too, to where hopefully you won't get like a lot of jokes, but we'll see where they go with it. But I feel like it will be definitely a good show, but who knows? Yeah, it could be horrible, but I feel like it'll be a good show.
I know, I don't think this is part of like the DC universe, but like Watchmen is a masterpiece, you know?
Oh my god. Oh.
Peacemaker, very good. So I think they're in good hands. I think they do have a chance to do something like pretty serious with this Jon Stewart series, because, like, you know, with his background as like a Marine and all that stuff, I think they could dive into that a little bit and do something serious.
That's what I was saying. Cool. I was like, I feel like with his character, it's actually, you know, it's not a ha ha joke. He's actually kind of like a, you know, he's a well-grounded, you know.
Yeah.
You know, more of a, like you said, a Marine. He's a serious person. So
sure,
I would love to see that rather than just all the jokes here and there, you know.
So, but did the Peacemaker humor work for you though?
It did. The Peacemaker was, I don't know, I went in there with like, once again, zero expectations, but John Cena actually, it worked for him. And then, you know, the supporting cast worked. And then, of course, you know, most of the time I skip opening credit, like the opening scene, but I have to watch the dance, like, the whole way through. I have
to watch the dance.
Yeah, that's how you get in the mood. But to me, it was a good show. I can't wait for it.
They go and commit to the humor though, like from the jump, like with the introduction. It's like, yeah, no,
right. You know what you're getting.
So,
but at the same time, you know, still blowing people's heads off and stuff. So it was like, oh god, wow, oh, you know, you're still getting that. But it was still a quality show, you know. And that's one thing I do like about, you know, when I watched Peacemaker was, yeah, it was like a joke for, like, it wasn't a joke of a show, but it was like, you know, a lot of jokes and stuff. But at the end of the day, you know, it was actually a solid plot, you know. So
yeah. Okay, cool. I think that does it for news. Let's talk a little House of the Dragon. Let me ask you this real quick. What's your relationship to Game of Thrones? Like
day one.
Day one?
Day one.
So season 1, you started watching like it's
yes.
like, oh, I heard a new show called Game of Thrones is on HBO. Like, I'm gonna watch it from the first episode. Really?
Yes. So
damn, that's crazy.
I
don't know a lot of people like that.
Yeah, I watched it since day one. Unfortunately, I did not read any of the books, so forgive me for the people out there that read the books, but I did watch the show from day one, though.
Dang, that's nuts. And how did you feel like when Actually, let me ask you this real quick. So, House of the Dragon first season just ended. How did you feel, like, not getting into specifics of House of the Dragon quite yet, but how did you feel about, like, once season 1 of Game of Thrones ended and then this first season of House of the Dragon ended? What did you have, like, optimism for the future of Game of Thrones, or like
Well, the thing is,
this is also a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, but I will say that it's two different feelings, because you got to remember this. When Game of Thrones came out, I've never watched a show that took out like main characters like that. I was kind of expecting that with House of the Dragon. I was like, okay, you know, they're known for, like, you know, you start loving a character and then boom, the head's gone. Like, whoa, you know, all right, relax,
yeah.
you know. I still want to watch the show, you know. But,
so you're okay. So like nothing could like shock you the way that the first season of Game of Thrones did.
Exactly. I mean, and not even just first season, but as you go throughout, you start to love these different characters, here and there, and then boom, they're dead in 2 episodes. It's like, well, man,
yeah,
you can't love nobody on this show, man.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But also the difference is that the pacing. You have like, I forgot how many seasons of Game of Thrones, and then you have House of the Dragon, which pretty much time lapse the same time as all those seasons of Game of Thrones. And
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, they both were different. I'm not a huge fan of prequels, but I enjoyed this prequel. So.
Got you.
Yeah.
Now, did you hate the final 2 seasons of Game of Thrones?
I hated the final season of Game of Thrones. Yes.
Gotcha.
But the season before that, it was pretty good. We finally got to see like more of the other season. We saw like a lot more of the White Walkers, and I feel like a lot of episodes were like Jon Snow, like looking at White Walkers the whole time. But the final season was just, we finally get to winter is here. The White Walkers are here, and then boom, that's it.
Yeah, the battle wasn't even all that. Yeah,
it was dark, and then it
was just building up this threat. I don't know how long the show ran, like 10 years maybe.
And then even then, I know the show came out after the fact, but even the prequel, they say winter's coming. I was like, okay, I mean, dang. And then y'all, I think they're just trying to make up for it. I think that's why they had to talk about it. But really, what upset me the most was that they made us wait like almost 2.5 years was 2.5 years, like 2 years maybe, to watch the final season, and that was the best they gave us.
Yeah,
it was so disrespectful to the fans.
So disrespectful.
It felt like I was watching the Dexter series finale. I feel like this is fan service like they did with Dexter. When they came out with Dexter New Blood, because we were upset. And then we were so upset about Game of Thrones, they say, you know what, we need to do something for the fans. And that's where House of Dragons came out. But like I told you, I'm not a big prequel fan. It's a very quality show. Very quality show.
And I like how you bring up the pacing and the time jumps, just because the thing that I disliked about seasons 7 and 8 of Thrones was because the pacing there, like one of the best parts of Thrones was like how much time it takes to get from one place to another, like all the danger of like the Hound and Arya going from place to place. They run into so much shit just on the road. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. They got all these damn side quests, man. No,
so
fast track, please. Yeah.
Oh, so you didn't like that? I loved that about Game of Thrones.
No. I'm just saying, like, you were just saying, like, I was like, no, but it was good. I mean, but in the day, it was still like filler episodes in a way.
Sure.
Yeah. So, I mean,
but yeah,
they have to have those kind of episodes. I've never seen a show that doesn't have filler episodes either. So,
but even though they were filler, they were still well made stuff. You know what I mean?
Like
important shit happens.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I enjoyed every majority of the episodes. There were some slow episodes, but majority of them were good. Except for the final season. I won't. Yeah, we just write that off.
Yeah. And so like with seasons 7 and 8, they just moved too fast through the time of events when this shit could have taken like another 2 seasons or something. But with House of the Dragon, just moves like so fast and jumps ahead like 10, 20 years. I think the difference between the two is that everything happens in King's Landing. Like they don't have to go anywhere. So it's almost like, well, what else would you want to see between those time jumps?
But in the day, you also got to remember too, like, Game of Thrones was like, you had all these different other families. Stories were very important, but with House of Dragon, you're really just focusing on,
focus on
Targaryens, and then the Valerians a little bit. But other than that, it's just really just focusing on them. So I kind of like that because it was like a main focus. You knew exactly what it was about,
Yeah.
And the family dynamic. So I liked it. Yeah.
For sure. So me and my other co-hosts, we actually potted on episodes 1 through 4, pretty much the first half of the season when all the characters were really young. How did you feel about the first half of the season, like episodes 1 through 5? before the big time jump.
So remember how earlier I was like, Game of Thrones, they'll kill off a character, when you start to love them. That's how I felt with those first 5 episodes. You start to love these characters. They didn't die, but they switched the characters. So I was like, oh man, dang, it feels like you lost a character, So I feel like each one of those characters really did very well. I mean, of course, some of the characters they continued on, but it was very good character development. And even though it time jumped, I enjoyed it. And the first 5 episodes were like very good. Even though we only have like 12, 13 episodes or whatever it was, it was good. Like first 5 episodes were pretty good. And it was still kind of weird seeing Sir Christian like not age. He had a good skincare routine or whatever, man. But I was like,
the Westeros skincare is on some other shit.
At least give that man like some gray hair or something, man.
The main difference was that they made his hair shorter, actually.
Oh, the king losing like half his face. I was like, hey man, you were able to stick around this long, but I like the first 5 episodes. I don't know, is it just me or did it feel like maybe the first 5 episodes? Well, I feel like the whole season was just about childbirth, or was it just me? It feels like a whole bunch of.
No, it is not just the first 5 episodes. There's childbirth everywhere in this season. It is like,
and you know what? Man. Maybe I was just heightened more because I have a baby on the way. I was like, dang, somebody else having a baby, golly, But
one of the funniest critiques I've heard about Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon, and it's not really a critique, it was more just like a comment on the series, is someone was like, as a single mother with a kid, I hated watching this show. I was like, I'm curious, like, what did Kay think about all this? This is all like tough, like birth scenes.
But Kay doesn't watch House of the Dragon, so
she doesn't. Okay,
she doesn't watch. Don't show it. Exactly.
Show it to her.
There was a whole lot of like miscarriages and all kinds of stuff, and it was very graphic too. So it still gave us like more of an insight of like the old ways. I would say more so just this is what they
tough,
had.
Tough stuff.
Wasn't tough stuff. Yeah, you just pushing through it. No epidural, none of that stuff. So hey.
Yeah, first 5 episodes for me, definitely. It was like you said. They feel completely episodes 1 through 5, just because like Millie Alcock as Rhaenyra Targaryen and Emily Carey as young Alicent, they were good. And then it felt like we got by episode 6, it felt like we got a whole new show. Like it's almost like we got a second season premiere.
Right, exactly. It felt like not a new show, but just I was like, okay. I would definitely say that the show without Damon would have been like.
Nah, you think Matt Smith held it down or what?
Oh yeah, did he? Yeah, absolutely. He held it down. The only issues I have is people like praising oh Damon. I was like, man, that dude is sick in the head, man. I mean, I've never seen somebody like so if petty like that man was. This man like single-handedly like did what he needed to do to. Just so he didn't need his brother's help, man. I was like, dang.
Yeah.
That's wild.
He fucking cheated.
Yeah.
That was a great battle, though. I definitely wish we got a little more battles in this, but I guess one battle was good. But okay, so episodes 6 through 10 now. What did you think of these? Now, these were, like we said, we got the older versions of Queen Alicent. Alicent portrayed by Olivia Cook. Rhaenyra portrayed by Emma Darcy. Pretty much everyone else is the same, except for like the Velaryon kids. The Velaryon kids were recast like 3 times. And I was like, damn. Yeah. And they were all recast in like within a span of like 4 episodes,
Right, yeah.
Like each time they were fucking older. But I think for me, I think that's one of the big negatives of the show is that all the younger kids I couldn't really form an attachment to, because for one, they didn't give the younger kids too much to do. Like I said, like every couple episodes, it was a new actor or actress portraying them. But yeah, so what did you think about episodes 6 through 10? Anything stick out for you?
So I'm sitting back watching, you know how they show like, oh yeah, on the next episode, I'm like, whoa,
yeah,
who are these people, And then like, oh wow. Even though it was like a huge time jump, it's crazy how like these actors were able to nail the same personalities, but at the same time show character development, even though they're two different actors. If that makes sense, I don't know if it makes sense.
No.
Yeah, I thought that was like very impressive just to see. Oh yeah, that is a this person is grown up, but at the same time, it's like they still like start to think like a different way. Cause you of course when you grow up, you start thinking different ways. But I enjoyed them. Like you said, not as much action, a lot more talking, but at the same time, the dialogue I think was pretty heavy, and a lot of I think once they start getting older and stuff too,
they really start getting into like the succession bits of it all, just because like Viserys is like fucking in terrible shape, and
so let me see what I'm trying to figure out. See what episode.
Well, let me say this real quick. Just some quick general thoughts on episodes 6 through 10. And this is more like general thoughts on the whole show for me. Definitely a really well acted show, like you said, and on a technical level is pretty impressive in terms of like camera work, and some of the CGI isn't great, but nothing was like, oh, that looks awful.
Yeah, I don't think I saw anything else like just god awful.
Yeah, no, I thought the dragons looked fine. I do think they had to go with like the dragons in by the final season of Game of Thrones and the dragons in this. I think there was a lot more work put into the Game of Thrones dragons. Like they just looked better.
But to me, yeah, CGI was a huge thing. But I do agree with you on like how they look better. But I liked scale of House of Dragons. You actually, I mean, the dragons were big in Game of Thrones, but I feel like the scale they showed the dragons in House of Dragon, like smallest dragon was like, it was still big, but
like the smallest dragon, honestly, was probably the biggest dragon in Game of Thrones.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, when you see, I was like, good God, that thing, that's a big boy there, man.
Yeah, fucking Vagar, dude, just absolute.
Hey, man, you gonna have to miss
thick
me
as
with
hell,
that,
dude.
man. Yeah. Hey. Jeez, that boy didn't miss a meal.
We'll get to the finale in a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, CGI not bad, and then they use the volume for all the flight scenes, like the dragon flight scenes. I don't know if you're familiar with the volume, but pretty much the volume is like they use it for Mandalorian. They film a lot of the like flight scenes and some action sequences with that. I thought it looked okay. The volume stuff definitely didn't look as good as Mandalorian though. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was fine. And what was the episode that you were looking for?
There was a couple episodes that I understood where was it Sir Vaemond Valerian, the brother to Corlys.
Brother.
I get where he was coming from as far as
He didn't tell one lie. He was telling.
He didn't tell one lie, and the thing is that was just so like boggling to me. Was like, okay, everybody knows none of these kids have any kind of Valerian blood in them. So I get what he was saying, but unfortunately, I guess he should have put a little bit better, or getting his head chopped off. But well, not even chopped off, just sliced and diced.
Up. Yeah.
It reminded me of Equilibrium, the Equilibrium scene with Tay Diggs getting his head chopped in half. But yeah, I mean, that was like the whole mind-boggling thing about it all. Everybody knew that these kids didn't have no kind of Valerian blood. They knew,
That's the weird thing about this show, is because like I feel when I'm watching Game of Thrones, I'm like, yeah, no, it has to be like the throne has to be passed down to whoever is like the proper heir. Like fuck all these Lannister kids. All these Lannister kids are bastards. It's like,
right, yeah,
I don't want these kids to be on the throne. But like in House of the Dragon, I'm like, dude, fuck it. Like I'm rooting for fucking Rhaenyra here, and I want her kids to like, even though I actually know they're bastards, but I want them to win.
Right, exactly.
It's just funny that this show did that, and kind of makes me a hypocrite, but I'm Team Rhaenyra regardless.
So that's what I like about the writing of the show. You're like, oh, you want, Rhaenyra to win, but at the same time, you're like, she's messed up too. Like,
yeah, she's a liar.
Yeah, she's a straight up liar, and everybody knows. And the crazy thing is, it's like the elephant in the room that nobody addresses. Everybody knows those kids don't have any kind of Valyrian blood in them. oh, that's treason if you say something. Like, we know. Everybody knows. Other than that, I was kind of thrown off by the pacing of the show at first, but I actually liked how they kind of like say, okay,
I thought it was a unique way of storytelling that I wasn't on. Well, I don't know if I'm on board with it really, but I thought for what they were trying to do, at the end of the day, it worked. But okay, so let's talk about the final two episodes 9 and 10. And if we know anything from Game of Thrones, it's always the final two episodes that are insane. And honestly, sometimes like even the second to last episode will be crazier than the actual finale. But for me, I thought there was a lot I liked from the season overall, but I think I was just a tad bit underwhelmed with the final two episodes. I especially feel that the time jumps didn't really do it any favors. If I'm being honest with you, and we briefly touched on this earlier about like the recasting of characters, but I did not care about Lucerys' death. I was like, damn, I was just like, all right, see you, dude. That sucks. You know what I mean? But like,
yeah,
I was like, yeah, that's sad, and this event is important, because it essentially starts like the Targaryen Civil War. It starts off the Dance of Dragons, but I was like, damn, that sucks, dude. See ya. Like I could not, like, there's no way that I would have built a connection to Lucerys like I did with, like, for example, Arya. You know what I mean? Because it was the same character. Like, I'm pretty sure they're just as young, or their characters in the show are just as, like, they're probably similar ages. Man, I don't know. It's hard to build a connection to the character when it's a new person every few episodes. You know what I mean?
Right.
And on top of that, like, the way they were written, I didn't really know anything about them. So it's like, it's hard to care.
Yeah, just coming from somebody, that didn't read any of the books, I was like, dang, but that's on him. If I would have pulled up and I saw that big old dragon over there, I was like, oh, let me just go ahead and go on back and tell my mom. I was like, hey, it is what it is, It's
Listen,
like one of those
Vhagar
things.
was there. I was out.
hey, when Buddy showed him, I was like, yo, that's another thing that I keep telling you about scale. It's like when they showed him, like, in relation to, like, the keep.
He's just as big as the castle, if not bigger.
Exactly. At the same end of the day, these were like, they're like teenagers. And I love, like, how their posture was, he wasn't entirely timid, but he was, like, dang, I might have to fight to the death, walking in here, So, end of the day, I actually liked that, it was like, you can see it in his face. He was worried, but at the same time, if he needed to.
He had a duty.
He had a duty, right, yeah. So I appreciate, like, just looking at, like, story writing like that,
Sure.
And then, like I said, once it comes back down to scale, when he was flying over, and
that shot
Vhagar,
of his...
I was like, oh, it's game over.
This little-ass pipsqueak dragon compared to Vhagar.
Sheesh, man.
Okay,
and
question.
Then,
did Aemon do it on purpose? Did he kill Lucerys on purpose?
Well, I went back and read some stuff after the fact, the people that read the books, and they were pretty much saying that in the books he was like trying to kill him, but I think in the show it looked like he wasn't trying to kill him, and it more so backs up what Patty was saying was like, well, King Viserys was saying, we really can't
controlling
these
dragons.
The dragons is an illusion. Controlling dragons
it's
all an illusion, And that's why when, he first got on the dragon, he said, you listen to me. But once some dragons start scrabbing, oh man,
it's over.
Everything goes out the window, and boy got him a little appetizer, man. Jeez.
Here's the thing for me is that, like, because I think you kind of touched on this, but I think when you get bonded to the dragon, I think the dragon understands, like, I think you connect, like, on a, I don't know, like a mind level or whatever. Like, the dragon will know your true intentions. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So even though, like, they were both like, oh, no, don't do it, like, on both their ends, too. Like, Arax and Vhagar kind of just went off on their own. Like, even though he kept on saying no, I think Aemon really wanted it. And then when it finally happened, he was like, oh, fuck, like, it actually happened. So it's, yeah.
Especially ever since he took his eye, he was like, a debt had to be paid. I don't know, man. It's just
Aemond also very cool looking Targaryen. I think that's the coolest Targaryen I've ever seen. Fucking eye patch.
That's the whole problem with this show. They make the people you're supposed to hate like look the coolest.
Just so cool.
Like,
yeah.
It's so cool. I was like, dang, even when he took the eye patch, I was like, dude got like a fucking blue eye. And I was like, dang, dog, you just can't make him look messed up, you know? And then they make Rhaenyra and all and her kids were like, yeah, I guess. But everybody else just looks so much better, you know? But I think that's the same way with even Daemon, you know? You see Daemon, you're like, oh, that's a cool character. But at the end of the day, he's still messed up, you know?
Yeah.
Stuff he does. So it's just kind of like, you know, you kind of root for like the villains and stuff in this show more so than the people that need to be rooted for. But I think
this
what
it
whole
is about
family
Aemon
affair is all messed up, though.
I think what it is about Aemon, though, is that when we first meet him as a little kid, everybody kind of bullies him. So it's kind of satisfying to see how he comes into his own. Like, I loved the scene of like little Aemon bonding with Vhagar. Like, I was like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, I wanted him to see him finally get a dragon. At the end of the day, it's like, nah, this guy is like, he's nuts.
When you talk about his brother's like even more nuts, you know. But I mean, you got to think about being a kid, like in those times, and you know the stuff that you're exposed to as a kid. You know, you're like, well, I mean, is he really nuts or just desensitized by what he sees? You know, I feel like he was definitely more mature as a younger brother, but that's what I like about like the storytelling too. It's like, you know, even though you see, you know, one as you think they're crazy, but like, I mean, I get it, you know, and quite frankly, you know, he should have been like the true king, but yeah.
No, man, Aegon didn't even want it. You know what I mean? Like, Aemon's totally fit to be king or whatever. One more thing about the characters before I move on. Like I said, I found it hard attaching to any of the characters besides like Rhaenyra, Daemon, and Viserys, and I guess Aemon now. Let's see, what else on the finale? I didn't like how, like, with the final two episodes, like, for one, episode 9 pretty much just focused on all the high towers and what was going on in King's Landing. Episode 10 focused on, like, Rhaenyra and pretty much everybody else that wasn't in King's Landing. I don't know, that was just a little off-putting to me, and I wish that we got just some explosiveness, like, beefing between the two. Half the characters are missing from these two, what I consider to be very important episodes.
I feel like she was giving childbirth like 30 minutes of was that the final episode?
Nah, okay, so yeah, that was the finale. Damn, that was gnarly.
But
she gave birth to a baby in episode 6.
Right. No, I'm saying see, that's once again, like when it comes down to like a season finale, there should be no room for place fillers. I get it, you know, just showing, you know, exactly what she was going through, and then, you know, that kind of leads up to, you know, her losing like another kid. Like, she just was like, okay, I get it, but you don't have to devote 10 minutes of the show to that.
Sure.
The finale was like an hour and 10 minutes.
I think
maybe.
Just an hour, maybe
hour. Yeah, maybe it was an hour, but still, you know, you eat up 10 minutes of time. 10 minutes of time, that's a lot for a season finale. You know, I want to see like a lot of good stuff, you know, but
yeah, no, that was most of the season finale. It was like her miscarriage, and then a lot of talking about like the battle plans. That's like, I feel like the battle plans should be discussed in like episode 9 to lead into the finale, and then you get maybe the battle. And that just wasn't it. Like the big quote unquote shocker in the finale was Lucerys dying. And I did like, though, that the episode ended, like, the final shot was like on Rhaenyra's face. And that's how episode 1 ended as well. Nice little parallel to young and old Rhaenyra. But yeah.
What is the guy's name from The Hangover? I keep forgetting his name. Zach Galifianakis.
What about Zach Galifianakis, dude?
When I first saw that episode, I was like, "Yo!" Like when he went to go meet with the Baratheons, I was like, "Oh no, that's my dog right there!" And I was like, "Oh, that's not him.
That's not him, bro."
Bro, I promise you, I thought that was him at first, man. I kid you not, man. I was like, "Yo, he's in." I was like, "Nah, it's not him."
That's wild. But no, I love this Baratheon because like the thing, I laughed pretty hard when I first saw this. Because he was like, where the fuck's the maester? And it's because he can't fucking read the scroll. He's like, I can't fucking read.
Yo, I promise you, I thought that was him, man. I was like, yo, I promise you it looked like him, man. I'm trying to curious who that was, actually. But I don't know why I thought that was him.
But one more thought on the finale. I definitely wanted Sir Kristen dead. I wanted more Hightowers dead. I really wanted to see Damon and Aemon face off. Just because I feel like they kind of teased that in like episode 8. I think episode 8 is probably my favorite episode of the whole show. Do you have any other thoughts on the finale?
I mean, it was good. Like I said, they just got to stop with these place fillers and important like finale episodes. Like you can have these place fillers in other episodes, but other than that, it was, like I said, it was miscarriage for a quarter of the show, and then some talking, and then really, if you think about it, if that final like scene, if that didn't happen, it would have been like a pretty mid finale. I feel like maybe the episode before that was probably better than the finale if you think about it.
Yeah, for sure.
So, it was really like the last part of that episode where we were like, oh, wow, man, we gotta wait another 2 years now,
Fucking 2 years, man. I can't believe it.
The last time we waited 2 years, we got some mid, man. So just roll it out to me now without the CGI. Fuck it.
Please. But okay, you have a favorite character or favorite scene in the show?
I actually like King Viserys. And then, because to him, it was, of course, it was about the crown, but it was a lot about family, which was like a good value for him. I know, when you're a king, you have to, do questionable stuff that doesn't always line up with your ethics. What I like with him, it always came back down to family and making sure his family, even though his last days, his main focus was family. So, and then of course, I was surprised he even lasted that long, first and foremost. But and he was very observant of what was going on.
Yeah, no, same for me. Viserys, definitely my favorite character, and I think that just, I guess, according to George R. R. Martin, like Viserys wasn't supposed to be like Paddy Considine. I think that's how you say his last name. Like he just brought this this level and different layer to the Viserys character, and apparently he's not like that at all in Fire and Blood. Like he was more of he was a powerful character in Game of Thrones or in House of the Dragon. But yeah, so Viserys definitely my favorite character, and I just want to talk about my two favorite scenes of his. They're actually both from episode 8. Viserys sitting the throne one last time. That was a pretty great scene.
He said, hold on, I'm taking the throne.
I'm taking the throne today. The most epic slow walk ever. And he looked cool. Like that gold mask was cool. Ramin Djawadi's score, of course, absolutely epic. And the final moment when he reaches the throne, and the crown falls off his head, and Daemon helps him to the throne to put the crown back on his head. That kind of got to me, just because
And the crazy thing is that was improv. That wasn't
even improv.
That's crazy.
I was about to bring that up. It was improv, and just remembering their relationship all throughout the episode, they were kind of constantly at odds with each other. So just seeing this payoff was really great. Another Viserys scene I really liked, since you were talking about family, this was a very family focused scene, is his final dinner scene. He even talks to everybody hey, I wish you were all just stop beefing. He said that and everybody agreed, but little did he know what would little did he know what would transpire after. But no, I really like this scene just because the last, I would assume that his last final memory was everybody getting along, everyone's dancing, music's playing, the vibes are immaculate, and essentially like I said, I think that's his last memory, and that's makes him happy to see that. But shortly after, he has to go to bed and everything just goes to shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Viserys is awesome. Yeah,
he was one of the stronger characters in this season. Unfortunately, I see why they kind of kept him alive. I was like, dang, man, this dude is barely hanging on. I was and then when they did the time jump, I was like, hey, there's no way.
I want to go back to the finale real quick because it opens up and Rhaenyra and Daemon are just finding out that Viserys passed away, and I love how they were oh, how did he die? How did he die? And then Daemon was oh, he was slain. And he was acting like he didn't just see him at dinner with half of his face missing. What are you talking about? He was slain, dude. Literally half his body is gone and he's old as fuck.
I just want to know what's in this tea. They kept saying, here, have this tea. I was like, man, my face is halfway gone. I'm looking like Two-Face out here. You talking about take some tea? No, just take me out of my misery, man. Jesus Christ. Have some tea.
I don't know about those maesters. That's a big theory, or like a big book reader theory, is that the maesters and pretty much everyone in Old Town have the most power in Westeros, just because, like, you know, it's all up to them. Like, if someone wants to, like, kill you off, they could do it slowly, how they did with Viserys here. Like, I don't think that's what they did on purpose. You know, it's like it's the maesters who control pretty much all the politics of the realm. Maybe they'll acknowledge that.
Maybe, but I mean, maybe he just had...
Maybe he was just fucked up.
Yeah, he was just fucked up. I don't know if it was like leprosy or whatever it was he had, man. But I was just surprised. That's the only thing that didn't make sense to me was like when they did the time jump and he was still alive. I was like... But no, I enjoyed it. I can't wait for another 2 years, you know, for it to come out, you know, and yeah.
Got you. Okay, so final score, final thoughts. Let's just do it out of 10. What do you give it out of 10?
I'll definitely give it an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10, that's good. 8 out of 10 for me as well. 4 out of 5 if you want to, you know. Yeah. Both are 80%. I think final thoughts from me, it's a strong start. Felt the final 2 episodes were pretty weak compared to everything else we got in the Game of Thrones universe. Seasons 1 through 6 had the most perfect, like, final 2 episodes ever. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I think this first season would come after, like, I don't know, but I definitely look forward to more. Can't believe we have to wait another 2 years.
Well, hopefully we get the Jon Snow sometime in between then, right? Because they say it was already in production. So. It's not in production?
It's not in production. They're just trying to. It's in development, quote unquote development. That doesn't mean.
Oh, we'll see that production. In 5 years then. Okay.
Yeah, gotcha. No. This will probably be, like, I would be surprised to see this series like during the time that House of the Dragon is running. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it'll come after season 2. Like, maybe it'll come after season 3.
And then on top of that, Kit is going to be pretty busy with, like, filming other stuff for Marvel and stuff. So we'll see. Yeah,
he's going to be the Black Knight. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But cool, man. House of the Dragon. That'll do it.
That'll do it until pod about it in like 3 years from now.
Garrett, you'll be back. You'll be back in 2025 to talk about season 2.
Crazy, man. But I will say this, that I remember when the season before for Game of Thrones, the season before the final season, they said, you know, you gotta wait like 2 years or 3 years, and it went by. We were like, what? We gotta wait that long? And then maybe because COVID made time just go by fast, but after that, I mean, it was mid though. I mean, it does go by pretty fast. You know, this year went by pretty fast too, so we'll see.
Yeah, man, we'll see. But okay, that'll do it for episode 104. Garrett, always a pleasure having you on the show.
Oh, thanks for having me again, man. I really appreciate it.
Of course, we'll have you back for Wakanda Forever.
Bring the tissues, y'all. Bring the tissues.
Bring the tissues. We'll see if phase 4 ends on a high note. Folks, thanks for listening. Be sure to follow us, the Kyber Culture, on YouTube and TikTok, as well as our other socials. Episode 105, I think we're going to talk Tales of the Jedi, the 6 animated Star Wars shorts. So stay tuned for that, and we will catch you next time. So peace.